Welcome back to ATL Day Ones. I am Tenitra, that is Jarvis, and we appreciate you guys for continuing to support us by going to wherever you get your platforms, or whatever platform you go on, and wherever you get your podcast, rather, and
Hmm.
downloading it, and also leaving us those 5-star reviews. And listen, if you guys want to leave comments on any of the topics that we talk about, go ahead and do that. That way we can incorporate you guys more into the show because we definitely review the comments and we appreciate you even taking the time to make those comments and give us those 5-star reviews. So, again, thank you for rocking with us. And listen, you guys, we know that you're rocking with the Braves because they are doing some seriously special things, right? And they have an embarrassment of riches. The question is, do the Falcons in any space have the same? Now, before we talk a little bit about the Falcons and where they are in terms of their roster, we want to just say that there was an individual who was on the roster back in the day who was definitely a part of the division, but now he's a part of the division again, just with another team. So Julio Jones, of course, signing that 1-year deal with the Bucks should be interesting when they come to the Bends to play the Falcons this season. Now, another thing that should be interesting is these continued kind of battles that we're looking at, playoff battles, position battles for a training camp, right? And let's just say, however, because I kind of tipped you guys off when I said playoffs, let's just say that the Falcons have an awesome training camp. They get through preseason and they're all that, Jarvis. And then they start surprising us getting into this regular season and they're looking like a little playoff team. Like your boy Olamide Zaccheaus said, they just might. So if they do, Jarvis, what in the world would that look like? What would it take for you to, in your opinion, to see the Falcons make the postseason?
I think that we're gonna start off with Tyler Algier being the starting running back. I'm gonna start right there, right? Because that's the guy that you brought in, and I'm talking to a scout, that had taken a really good look at Tyler Algier, and the
Mm-hmm.
one thing that holds rookie running backs back from getting into that starting lineup and being that consistent
Mm-hmm.
guy is pass protection. And the
Yeah.
scout that I talked to, he said that is one of his strengths. He doesn't
Mm-hmm.
mind doing it. And this is a guy who's a former linebacker in college as well at
Mm-hmm.
BYU. So the
Mm-hmm.
aggressiveness is there. The being willing to attack is there, and he runs accordingly. So I think that, and with him being in there, that allows you or affords you to have
Mm-hmm.
Cordell Patterson and kind of have
Yeah.
him even more of a gadget player. And I'm not using that in a negative connotation,
No.
but I'm using that as that's being an asset for
Mhm.
Arthur Smith to really get creative on offense. So I think that that's one piece, and then also the second piece, who a guy we've talked about a lot, Jermaine Ifedi takes Caleb McGarry's spot, because when you think about why we talk about the competition and wanting to
Yes.
be aggressive and be edgy. You want guys
Mhm.
to be for him to come in, to be brought in for that, and then it actually comes to fruition. Like Terry
Yeah.
Fontenot and Arthur Smith thinks, like they want to have that competition, and when the guy you bring in comes in and takes the incumbent starter spot,
Mhm.
that means something. That's
Yeah.
gonna say something to opposing teams, and it's gonna say
Mhm.
something to that particular locker room. Like, hey,
Yeah.
if you aren't doing what you're supposed to do, you need to step your doggone game up. And then
Mhm.
those two keys right there, probably will be the main reason why the Arthur Smith and the Falcons are successful on offense. That means because that running game is going.
Yeah.
Once Arthur Smith gets that running game going, I think
Mhm.
the it's there's endless possibilities to
Yeah.
what they can do as far as winning games this year. And I think
Mhm.
that if you're talking about the Falcons being the playoff team, you're
Yeah.
definitely talking about that running game being in the top half of the league.
Yeah, and I agree with you on that. I think that if you have 1,000-yard rusher, something that the Falcons have not seen in season after season after season, but the 1,000-yard rusher, which to your point, if Tyler Algier does what we believe he can do, you're going to get that. Also, keep the QB from getting sacked.
Yes, Lord.
I mean, if you can keep them somewhere under 40,
Yes,
right?
Lord.
Then you got something going. And that includes, Jarvis, not just the actual sacks, but also the hits and the pressures, because
Right.
those things kind of mount up as well and they build up, and that kind of wears that quarterback down. And on the flip side, on defense, certainly, I believe that if you get more sacks, right, and more hurries and more pressures to the quarterback from that interior line, and from just that, and also looking at the secondary, right? AJ Terrell, you got some more help. So if that secondary can be what we think they're going to be, and they can get more picks, and if nothing else, also just some passes defense, like get out there and even if you can't pick the ball, just disrupt the passing game. I think those will be some
Mm-hmm.
critical keys to them possibly making a playoff run or getting to the postseason. So before we talk a little bit more about our surprise for the Falcons, who could make a big impact, Jarvis, tell us more about where our listeners and our audience can go to get amazing jewelry online.
Go to BlueNile.com. Whether you're ready to pop the question or you're just celebrating a special moment, they have
Yeah.
fine jewelry as unique as her with the modern convenience of online shopping at BlueNile.com. Let me tell you something. I got a super, super duper duper special moment coming up. About to get ready to celebrate 10 years being married now, and I already got my plans going as far as what we're gonna do, to
Right,
celebrate.
right.
But I'm thinking about getting to something a little special. I hope she doesn't watch the show because I don't want to give away my secrets and stuff. But
Right.
I'm definitely going to go to BlueNile.com and go check out and see what they have. And I'm looking to make a purchase because I sometimes I kind of struggle with gifts.
Mhm.
I need a little assistance because Blue Nile, they got everybody you need. If you look, like you said, you having trouble choosing. Like I mentioned, Blue Nile has jewelry experts on hand 24/7,
Yeah.
available via call, or you can chat to help find a memorable gift for that special moment like myself. Now, you trying to say, okay, Jarvis, man, I might need a little help with these prices because jewelry can get a little expensive. Well, we
Sure.
got you covered. Locked On got you covered for you guys. All right, you can get $50 off purchases of $500 or more. This is a podcast exclusive. Use the code Locked On. Go to BlueNile.com and use the code Locked On, and they'll make sure every order is insured, ships free, and arrives in discreet packaging that won't give away what's inside. Shop stress free and find your forever peace. Go to BlueNile.com today and use that code Locked On.
So, Jarvis, I kind of heard in there that you were thinking about doing something on the level of a surprise for our girl, which I think is very, very exciting. And so I can't wait to see what that looks like. And we are also thinking about surprises that we might see in the duration of this next season for the Falcons, the regular season in particular. So, again, we talked yesterday about who might make the biggest impact on offense and defense. Who do you think might be a surprise guy who can go from being a guy to that guy this season?
I will. I've talked about this on other shows on Locked On Falcons with Aaron Freeman, and I've kind of mentioned it as on our show as well.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that Michael Walker is going to be a guy who's going to have the opportunity, not only the opportunity to be a
Yes.
surprise, but I think
Mm-hmm.
he's going to take advantage of that
Yes.
as well because he's a guy that we've talked to, one on one, just
Mm-hmm.
about coming into the season,
Yeah.
expectations, changing of coaching staffs, and just what your
Mm-hmm.
mindset has to be when you do those
Sure.
type of things. And like
Mm-hmm.
you said, like nothing, it's basically a clean slate. It was almost
Mm-hmm.
like he said it himself, like I got drafted all over again because I have to prove myself to some guys that are no longer there. There's no guys from the previous regime here.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a new coaching staff. So it's almost like, hey, we don't know who you are. We don't know what you can do. So you got to prove it on the field. And I think he started to do that last year by getting more playing time. And I think that this is the year for Michael Walker. I think he's
Mm-hmm.
going to be that guy to be that surprise for Arthur Smith and
Mm.
company for sure.
I like it. I like it. And I agree with you on that. I think he is just chomping at the bit and just waiting to prove himself again. He takes it as an opportunity to show what he's worth. I definitely will co-sign with you on that. And I'm going to go deep, 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 deep into
Going
into
into the
the
archives, huh?
yeah, into the rookie class this year. We know, and we kind of talk about it broad based, but I'm going to narrow it down just a little bit before we wrap up. We always talk about the fact that the offensive line has to step up, right? But let's
Yes.
just be more specific. Chris Lindstrom ain't got to step up because he is the step up on that
Mm-hmm.
O line, right? Jake
Yep.
Matthews, solid on the O line. So it's really those other three positions that we've been having some commentary about, right? And so
Yes.
I'm interested. I'm going to actually put two people in place, right? A Drew Dahlman, who is, who's been there a couple seasons, but also a Justin Schaefer. I say Drew Dahlman because he's been coming
Mm.
for a starting position for a minute now.
Yeah.
So watch out for him. he would be my surprise to have an impact. But then again, I wouldn't be surprised. But I say Justin Schaefer, and that's why I said I'll go deep, deep, deep
Ooh,
in, because Justin Schaefer played a number of positions on the O line at UGA. So if you're going up against
super versatile.
exactly, if you have that
Mhm.
versatility, you're going up against the likes of the best in the country in the SEC every single game for 4 years, then I want to put some money on you that you might surprise us and do some special things, even though you were drafted deep in the 2022 class for the Falcons. Now, when we come back, we're
Hold
going
on,
to talk.
quick nugget before
Oh,
you
you
move on.
got
Quick
something else? You got
nugget. Got a
another
little
pick?
nugget for. Got a little
All
nugget for
right,
you.
all right.
You might be onto something because you talked about the standard being Chris Lindstrom. Chris Lindstrom mentioned just recently that Justin Schaefer has been reaching out to him for some pointers.
Ah,
So you might be on to something, T.
you like it.
The prophetess Tenitra Batiste has spoken. So you guys keep an eye on that as we go through training camp and get ready for the 2022 season for the Falcons.
Oh, I absolutely love it. So, yes, we will be watching. That's some good stuff right there. And we'll bring you some more good stuff on the other side. Come back and join us for the culture, because you know you want to hear us talk about sports, entertainment, and everything else that we want to talk about in For the Culture.